Do we ever find
We
out?
have no idea.
No.
He shows up for a couple tennis games. He'll race a car in a circle, but
Yeah.
when it comes to raising
his
son,
kid? Yeah, no, thank you.
Hi there. Welcome to the Lore Boys. My name is James Miller, and I can lift up a boulder with relative ease. And I am joined with...
My name's Ethan. I have a coconut gun.
My name is Peter O'Donohue. I can inflate myself, actually.
Let the old thumb in the mouth trick.
You're thinking of self-fillet.
Well, I can do that too, but I don't know which. I don't know which member of the family is notorious for that one.
No one monkeys, probably all of them.
Two missing ribs, Kong. Is that the one that can do it?
Marilyn Kong.
Yeah.
Funky Kong. I bet you he gets down.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. If you haven't guessed already by the title and by what we're talking about, today we are talking about the Donkey Kong family tree. So,
now, Kong, is it like the Kong family tree or is it the Donkey Kong family tree? It's like the Medicis.
So the Kong family, Kong doesn't necessarily mean it's not a last name. It's actually a species, kind of like Toad in the Super Mario.
Oh.
Yeah. So there is going to be direct relationships, but more so we're talking about the Donkey Kong like crew.
So you're saying when you say it that it's like Toad, you're saying Donkey Kong is a frog?
No, I'm saying
I'm confused.
I'm saying like Toad, where there are many Toads doesn't mean they're all related. The Kongs just mean they're part of like a greater Kong family, I guess.
Okay, but it's a higher order of primate. You have like gorilla and chimpanzee and bonobo and Kong. It's yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, like there's a rivaling faction that are not Kongs. They're the Mankeys, I believe, and those are the apes that actually try and hurt you in the games.
Okay, Jane Goodall is embedded with the Kongs and has multiple Nobel Peace Prizes for her. She wrote the rap.
Yes, she was sent. She was a political marriage. She's actually part of the British royal line, and she was given in marriage to the Kong family to marry that. To secure an alliance. Yeah,
right. Yes. Yeah.
So I'm basically going to be focusing on the games today. There was that whole TV show, but looking at it, I kind of just wanted to leave it out.
Did the early 90s CGI scorch your retinas?
Yeah.
I mean, for more reasons than just the CGI, that was a bad TV show. Like, Reboot had early 90s bad CGI, and Reboot was a good TV show, as we've talked about on our Reboot episode. But the Donkey Kong doesn't hold up, I don't think.
Not as well. Definitely not. So the Kong family, they're also known as the Kong clan, with K for both of them, but let's not call them that.
KK.
Oh, God, no.
It's 2Ks. 2Ks is fine, guys.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, they're a questionable video game publisher at best, but
it's rare, right? Yeah.
I meant 2K. That was a 2K joke. That was a video game industry joke for all our video game industry fans at home. 2K games. There you go.
They're also known as the DK crew, which I'll be referring them as that from here on out because I don't want to mess around with this.
Now is crew spelled with a K?
It's actually spelled with a C, which is
that's strange.
The Kong Crew clan would be great.
Yeah, the whole thing is confusing with the K. We don't want to call them the Kong clan. We don't need like the triple-headed dragon Kong or whatever.
That's it. So Donkey Kong's the Grand Wizard, we're saying, right? He's the top of it all. Or no, that would be Cranky Kong, right? Cranky Kong's the Grand Wizard. The patriarch of the family.
Yeah.
So let's get into the first Donkey Kong, which is Donkey Kong Sr. And that is in the original arcade game. So Donkey Kong Sr., you know him. I posted a picture. He's the guy at the top of all those little rails or these like scaffolding things. Mm-hmm. And he throws the barrels.
Yeah, and there's a pesky plumber trying to stop him.
Yeah, and that guy's known as Jumpman at this point. He's not even married.
Carpenter in this case, actually.
He might be.
Yeah.
I don't know. Jumpman lore coming soon, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen some plumbing get done, and there's rarely this many ladders.
True.
Yeah. So the first Donkey Kong is Donkey Kong Senior. He's in the original arcade game. This is the one from King of Kong, which is a really cool documentary if you're into Donkey Kong, and a guy who's like conniving and like cheating on his records versus an honest family man who's just beating the records like while his kids are playing on his lap and stuff.
Billy Mitchell is the funniest real life character I've ever seen in my life. He's just such an insecure like freak is the best word I could think of to describe him. And like it was so funny how what was it, Twin Galaxies, the place that like where speedrunning started in a lot of senses. Just like he had everybody in on it because he like knew the owners and was friend with all the managers. They all helped him cheat on his speedruns. And it was just like, why for this loser? You're gonna risk your career and your business for this guy?
Back then, instead of like hacking, you would literally replace the board in the arcade machine to be like an easier version of the game and stuff. Like King of Kong, if you haven't watched it, like if you like this show, I think you'll like that because it's really funny.
Very interesting story.
Yeah. So Donkey Kong Senior is actually a different Donkey Kong by the time we get to Donkey Kong Country.
Okay. So that's why he doesn't have the red tie. It's not because he was feeling more casual in the original arcade version of Donkey Kong. It's because it's a completely different person.
No, and the red tie, we'll get into later how Donkey Kong earns the red tie.
Oh, red tie lore.
Once you kind of establish a border and create a Donkey Kong country, then you need to formalize and then have a government, right? And then obviously you can't just be standing around the Kong White House with no pants on.
Oh, so he got the tie when he ran for office.
That was the thing that kind of got him in, right? Was it's like, well, that's a professional ape right there. That's an ape I can get behind. That's an ape you can set your watch to. Yeah. And then
a giant banana in every home.
Yeah.
You guys are joking, but like Nintendo probably gave him the tie to make him less of a villain and make him more relatable to people because Donkey Kong Sr., who's actually Cranky Kong by the time we get to later on in the series.
Wait, Cranky Kong is the Donkey Kong from the original Donkey Kong?
That's right.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think that's one of the only Kong relations I knew.
Yep. So who's
the mother?
She's absent. We don't know her.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait. Actually, we do know her.
Oh.
I'm thinking there's a lot of absent parents in this one, but we do meet her, and her name is going to be Wrinkly Kong. But before we get there, we're going to start with Donkey Kong Sr. Okay. The tie, by the way, the point I was trying to make is Nintendo probably gave him a tie to be more relatable because Donkey Kong Sr. was like, he was evil. He was kind of the bad guy. By the time we get to the present day Donkey Kong, they gave him a tie. Mario had his blue collar plumber thing. Samus had her futuristic suit. Donkey Kong needed a tie, I guess.
Needed a tie,
hairy knuckles.
Yeah. So why is Donkey Kong or Cranky Kong so cranky? In the original game, Donkey Kong was Donkey Kong Senior. He was a prisoner of Jumpman and Pauline, which it's not Peach, it's Pauline, the first girl that he steals.
Okay.
Yeah. So it starts the game by him in a cage, and then enough is enough, and he breaks out of the cage, steals Jumpman's girl, Pauline, and that's him like lashing out against Jumpman for keeping him in a cage.
Which seems fair.
Yeah.
I'm willing to say Jumpman's the bad guy here, and Pauline, I get why Mario dumped her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of parallels with King Kong, I guess, where King Kong was kind of just pulled out of nature and like put into a place where he didn't want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the naming is also obviously the same. But there's some history that I heard at some point, like some trivia. It is like sort of named after King Kong as well, because the original film came out in the 30s, I want to say, or in like 1929.
Before color was invented, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Before color was invented, but after Frankenstein's monster had been invented, as far as I know.
Right. Yeah, I remember I did in my history of music class. We watched that whole show and listened to the music score in it because apparently it was really good in that movie, but I don't remember it even though I watched it.
So it couldn't have been that good. Do you remember thinking that it was good, or do you remember thinking it and being like, "Wow, my teacher has very specific tastes that I don't align with"?
He was a very strict teacher, so I was just like, okay, Kong's theme. I have to remember this. I have to remember this.
Yeah. That's what I want out of my arts teacher is like very strict disciplinarian, you know? Like,
Yeah.
So,
that's how art thrives. Art thrives. Art is born of necessity, as they say, right?
Yeah.
And strict deadlines.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, speaking of which, Peter, we forgot to plug your thing at the beginning of the show that you said you wanted to plug.
Oh, no, I will do it at the end.
Okay.
We'll do it at the end now.
Stay tuned for a special message.
So we're still at the titular Donkey Kong Senior. And, well, maybe not titular, but he's the first one. What does titular mean? First?
I mean,
titular means of the title.
Yeah,
so
the one it was named
If the game
for.
is called Donkey Kong, the titular Kong is Donkey within the game.
Well, then good enough. That's him.
Good enough.
So Jumpman / Mario jumps over enough barrels and does catch DK and cages him up again. So Cranky Kong is not done yet. Yep.
Does he though? The game doesn't
There's
end.
a kill
right?
screen.
It just goes to a kill screen. Yeah.
Yeah. Canonically, he catches him and he puts him back in because there's more games after.
Nintendo's like, no. The level right after the kill screen, you would have captured him if your arcade systems had enough RAM.
Yeah.
An extra flight.
Yeah, kill screens are whenever the game just runs out of memory and basically you can't go to the next level if anyone's unfamiliar with it.
Watch the King of Kong.
Yeah.
You know what? Turn this podcast off.
Pac-Man episode.
Or listen to our Pac-Man episode. Yeah, I think we talked about it a lot.
So Donkey Kong Sr., Cranky Kong, also has a son. Do you guys know who the son is?
Junior
Is it
Kong.
Donkey Kong?
Donkey Kong Jr.
Okay, yeah.
So he looks like a smaller version of the other Donkey Kong. He wears a white shirt that has like...
That's not a shirt. That's like a leotard, I think is the correct term.
Okay. So he wears a white leotard with a J on it for Junior.
Yeah, it's more athletic, the leotard, than a regular old shirt.
He looks like one of those like European like hup ho strongmen sort of guys.
Exactly. You can tell that he's athletic just looking at him instantly. You're like, boom, that guy's athletic. Whereas you look at Donkey Kong right below him in a tie, that guy's clearly not doing any sports. A tie is a choking hazard in sports.
It's true.
Yeah.
So these kids these days, they're getting soft. That's all I can say.
So Donkey Kong Sr. didn't have a tie. Donkey Kong Jr. had the white shirt with the red J or the leotard. Mm-hmm. And he was the hero of the DK Jr. arcade game. And Mario is actually the one throwing the barrels at the top of the screen on this one.
Oh, good.
And the goal is to save your father, who's been caged up by Mario.
Is there anything Mario hasn't done? He's been like a pro golfer. He ran a hotel for a while. He clearly threw barrels at monkeys for a bit. Like
went missing.
Yeah, went missing.
What else? My God, he's played multiple sports: soccer, volleyball, baseball. He's been to multiple Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
He played XCOM, except he was fighting little rabbits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He saved an entire galaxy, I believe. Twice, maybe? I don't know. He's been to the moon, got married on the moon, I think. Or interrupted a wedding on the moon, excuse me.
I never finished Mario vs. Rabbids, and while researching this, I am already downloading it because I'm going to try it again. It's actually quite fun.
Does it come up in this episode?
Not really. Oh. No, but while researching, there was like a Donkey Kong Rabbid, which we're not going to talk about because he's not really part of the family. But
okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Are the rabbits like Kirby, where if they just eat someone, they assume their powers, and one of the rabbits did that to a Kong member?
I know that there's like a Cranky Kong rabbit. I know that there's a DK rabbit. I don't know the logistics to it, but I know there are.
It's like the movie Alien. You get like a little fluffy rabbit tail latches onto your face, and when the rabbit bursts out of the character's chest, it has some characteristics.
Chest burster.
Exactly. So like they're eating bean sprouts, and Donkey Kong like starts choking and collapses on the table, and a rabbit bursts out of his chest.
Gotcha.
It was 2 years ago since I played that game. I'll probably know better by the end of the night when I play some more. But
I'll do Rabbids lore right after I do the Minions from Despicable Me lore, because they're essentially the same characters.
Count me out.
We're gonna tap into the Facebook mom market.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Think of those millions and millions of likes and shares that we'll get from that. Every single one of them will like and share it.
So we have Donkey Kong Sr. He's the original titular Donkey Kong. And we have Donkey Kong Jr., who's out to save his dad. And Donkey Kong Jr. was less angry than his father. He enjoyed competitive math in DK Jr. Math, You have to like solve like multiplication and division problems before a timer to save someone.
So the leotard wasn't for athletics; it was for mathletics. You're saying
That's right.
Okay,
but he was also in Super Mario Kart and Mario Tennis, so he's kind of a mathlete.
Go-karting is not really an athletic thing. Tennis is, though. Although I hear tennis is apparently quite bad for cardio because you exercise in bursts, which is apparently unhealthy.
Sure.
I've been sitting down since 2020, so I wouldn't know. But
yeah, DK Jr. did fall to the evil side a bit in Donkey Kong Game Boy Advance, where he helped throw poison mushrooms down at Mario. But by the end of the game, there was a selfie with DK Senior, DK Jr., and Mario just looking over a mountainside where they took a selfie together. So they made amends, and they weren't really fighting after that point.
Hey, Mario, I know I tried to poison you for kidnapping my dad, but why don't we take a selfie, huh? That'll make us feel better. Mario's just doing it for clout. You know it, too. He doesn't even mean it. Yeah. He knows that he'll get those clicks from it, so...
Yeah, he's staying in a hotel. He's not staying in a hut with the Kongs, right? He's just there for like Instagram tourism.
Selfie in the 90s, though. He's pretty much he's ahead of the curve, I'd say.
Yeah.
So Donkey Kong Senior, back to him for a little bit, because in Donkey Kong 3, the arcade game, Senior, he finally is no longer caged. He's escaped from Mario. So what does he do? He takes up residence inside of a greenhouse. He's got the whole world ahead of him, so he lives in a greenhouse.
He's just old. He's got a hydroponics setup. It's for his glaucoma, you know?
But he's like, I know my generation doomed this planet with global warming, so I'm going to set up myself a place where my crops will survive it.
It wasn't his greenhouse. He just moved into a greenhouse.
Oh. Can you do that? Can you apply squatters' rights to a greenhouse? Is it like fast-tracked?
Well, there was a guy named Stanley the Bugman who wanted to keep him out. So in Donkey Kong 3, you don't play as Mario, you play as Stanley the Bugman.
I can't believe that guy didn't catch on, and we don't have Stanley the Bugman Olympics 2020.
Yeah, Stanley the Bugman, bros.
So like Donkey Kong Senior, he stays at the top, and he basically punches like bees' nests and stuff like that. So insects will come down and destroy the flowers. And Stanley the Bugman scares off the bees and other insects with his own bug spray, and then eventually sprays Donkey Kong Sr. with the bug spray to get rid of them.
Stanley the Bugman and his famous taller brother, Phil the janitor.
I love that he uses like insecticide as self-defense and to spray in the face of a gorilla. It's just like, oh, that's all I had.
Yeah.
He's a Bugman too, so it must be dangerous, you know? If he gets some bad wind or something, I guess he's in a greenhouse.
No wind in a greenhouse.
Yeah. That sounds like something like a rock in your shoe, you know?
Yeah, all right. There's no wind in a greenhouse.
Wind in a greenhouse. So Donkey Kong Game Boy Advance, not last part of Donkey Kong Senior, but the next part of Donkey Kong Senior. He's beat one last time by Mario at the end of Donkey Kong GBA, where he's like this big monkey in the background, and you have to jump around from platform to platform and beat him. And once you beat him, he moves to Donkey Kong Island and he retires. He's not like Bowser, where he'll take a licking and keep on ticking. He's just like, fuck this. I've lost too many times. I've lived in a greenhouse. I've lived in a cage. I'm going to go live on an island.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've been saving up my bananas, squatting in greenhouses. You know, it cost me nothing. So I've finally amassed enough money to get a timeshare on Kong Island.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then he grows old there in Cranky Cabin.
Yeah, I'm gonna name it Donkey Kong Country. I sure hope no crocodiles come by to mess up my day.
So he just stays in his cabin and he grows old there. And he starts giving unsolicited advice and hoarding a pile of junk to sell back to his family.
Mm-hmm.
As one does.
He stands for a while. He stands on an iron girder similar to the one from the Donkey Kong games until his, I guess, grandson, you'll tell us, the one with the tie, shows up with a boombox stereo and knocks him off it.
Yeah, pretty much. Next up is Wrinkly Kong. Unlike her crabby husband, Wrinkly Kong was a kind old soul. She leads a school on DK Island. And she teaches the Kongs and the Kremlins, those alligator people.
Okay.
She doesn't discriminate. She helps everybody. For only 2 banana coins, you can get a lesson or a save state. Yeah. She was the save function in DK Country, but sadly she passes away sometime after the DK Country games.
Once they start putting onboard internal batteries and you don't need an old lady to save anymore, she didn't have a job or purpose. She just disappeared into the woods.
Wait. Sorry, I looked this up because this is the only Donkey Kong game that I've really played, but I've played a lot Donkey Kong Country because I think it was the first game I ever played, like the first video game I ever played probably because my mom really loved it on the Super Nintendo. But you definitely save at Candy.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't know
maybe
where
it's in 2 or 3, but she definitely does. She has a save point in the school. And then eventually she leaves. I think in Donkey Kong Country 3, she goes to the North Kremlin sphere, is what they call it. Okay. And she hangs out in like in this like temple.
She spends her time trying to hack the U.S. electoral systems, essentially.
She's a save state in at least one of them from the video I was watching. Maybe it wasn't the original Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah. We need to. She's trying to like download and delete all of Wrinkly Kong's emails from the Kremlin.
You were right on the second one though. It's Donkey Kong Country 2 is the first time she shows up.
Okay, cool.
Diddy Quest for Diddy.
In the Donkey Kong. So the next part is after the wife passes away. Sadly, Donkey Kong Senior. Cranky Kong, which we'll call him from now on, he starts to act out a little bit. The death of his wife kind of set him off. And in Donkey Kong 64, he starts brewing potions and testing them out on his friends and family.
Okay, as you do.
Right? He kind of becomes a wild alchemist, but as time goes on, he opens a shop to sell some of the stuff that he hoards. Like in the first and second game, he just lives in a pile of trash almost.
Yeah, he's a hoarder. He's a hoarder in the first one for sure.
Yeah.
But I guess one thing you could do with your retirement, I guess if there's any retirees listening, try drugging your family unknown to them. You know what I mean? Could be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Alchemy with the side of poisoning your family. Keep you busy for hours.
Turn your nephew into gold. I think that's how it works.
By the latest Donkey Kong Country, like Tropical Freeze, I believe is the name of it.
Yeah.
He's really cool with everybody now. He's not as cranky. You can actually play as him. So after almost 40 years and a lot of personal growth, he's able to hang out with the crew and he's not as cranky.
He's got a shovel and he has like a down attack that lets you like bounce off of enemies and like spikes and stuff.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Hollow.
Yeah, and his 3 monkey cousins.
Yeah.
Or his 3 monkey nephews.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that Mario and Donkey Kong Sr. or Cranky Kong have been around just as long as each other. Cranky looks old. Mario looks the same.
That's all those mushrooms Mario eats. Good for
I
health.
looked it up and the forum said that. Yeah, it's the mushrooms. That's what the fan theory is. The mushrooms keep you young.
That or maybe whatever. Why did Mario have Cranky Kong in a cage, huh? Because he was performing experiments on him. Now Mario has tapped into Cranky Kong's life force. Cranky Kong's nowhere near as old as he looks. He's just aging unnaturally quickly because Mario is stealing his life essence to keep himself young.
Wow.
Or what if Cranky Kong is Mario's version of like the portrait of Dorian Gray, where Cranky's aging instead of Mario, but if you kill Cranky Kong, then all the aging catches up to Mario.
Oh shit, we have to kill Cranky Kong.
Yeah.
The only way to defeat Mario.
Mario got his eternal youth. He dumped that bitch Pauline. He got up with Princess Peach.
Yeah, exactly.
Every time you're playing like Super Mario Bros. Or Super Mario World and you fall down a pit and Mario just disappears, he doesn't die. He actually runs off to go tap into Cranky Kong, where he has him hooked up to some batteries in his garage.
Yeah. Oh my
God. So now we've talked about all of the progenitors to Donkey Kong, the one that we know today.
As we know and love him.
Yeah, the one we know today is Donkey Kong the Third. So his father is Junior Donkey Kong, or Donkey Kong Jr., and his grandfather is Donkey Kong Sr.
So he's Donkey Kong Jr.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Double Jr., yeah.
Okay.
DJ.
Yes. This is the one that we all know and love. His first game that we play as him is Donkey Kong Country, so the first game that Ethan even played.
Mm-hmm.
And Donkey Kong Jr., his father, has been absent for most of his life, and he's been raised by his grandfather.
Cranky.
Okay.
What happened to Junior? Do we know? Do we ever find
We
out?
have no idea.
No.
He shows up for a couple tennis games. He'll race a car in a circle, but
Yeah.
when it comes to raising
his
son,
kid? Yeah, no, thank you. Leave that in the charge of my horribly abusive father.
Yeah.
exactly.
I'll microwave some Chef Boyardee for him once a month. That's
that's
as much as I need to
I
do.
just have to find the cans of Chef Boyardee underneath all this hoarded garbage.
Yeah.
It's over there by the dead cat.
Yeah, exactly.
You got like the desiccated rhino, like behind the drywall.
yeah, exactly.
Or the ostrich is like crammed in the wall.
Yeah. Grandfather, where'd you get this swordfish?
Yeah.
That'd be a good picture. So Donkey Kong, he was raised by Cranky, and Cranky was a bit old-fashioned, and he raised DK to kidnap human women, of course.
Of
Good.
course.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it turns out that
trade.
yeah,
It's time for you to learn the family business, son.
Kidnapping human
Yeah.
women.
Crawl down into this bush with me, would you? step into my office, just gesturing to a bush, like.
And then what? Well, you can masturbate if you want to when she runs by, but otherwise we just grab her and climb a building.
Masturbate. That's like when you grab a banana, you see?
Yeah. And it's like unpeeling and repeeling it like real quick.
Oh my god. I don't want to think about peeling a banana and a penis like that.
yeah. Monkeys use their teeth.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's what Funky Kong did after he got his couple ribs removed, right?
Yeah.
So actually, DK wouldn't be kidnapping any women. It turns out that he was the one who got kidnapped himself as he was a young boy or young monkey.
Okay.
So any reference to young DK in any of the games is a reference to DK the Third.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So in Yoshi's Island DS, he's kidnapped as one of the 7 star children.
Okay, with like Baby Toad and
All the baby Mario, baby Luigi, all the baby Princess Peach, probably.
Yoshi's got to save them all.
Exactly. And it features like you get to play as all these people riding small Yoshis.
Yeah.
And I think you can toggle between which one you're playing and they all act a little bit differently.
Different powers could be.
Yeah.
Very cute.
Yeah. So DK actually ends up, with the help of the other babies, defeating Bowser and returning home.
Bowser
So,
sucks, man. Jesus.
yeah. He's a fricker.
Yeah.
He is a
But no, I mean, he was defeated by babies.
Yeah. 7 babies and 7 toads. Or, I mean, Yoshis. But they're the star children. They're like not normal babies. There's probably some going back in time to just defeat them before they could defeat me kind of thing going on. I've never played it.
Terminator situation.
Yeah.
They're John Connor, and they're gonna stop the robot uprising.
You got like fucking Bowser looking through the phone book, to kicks down a door. He's like Donkey Kong Jr. But there's just like there's too many. There's 3 Donkey Kong Juniors in Los Angeles.
Well, that's why sometimes he's good. Like in some of the Mario Party games, he seems like relatively chill, right, Bowser? Because you can play as him.
Yeah.
So that's when he's when he's in Terminator 2, and he's come back to save John Connor. And like he phones, he's there with like baby Mario, and he phones 2 Yoshis, and it's like, is this blah blah blah? Is this Yoshi? And it's like, Yahoo! It's like your step Yoshis are dead.
Hey mom, how's Froggy? Froggy's fine, dear. Your foster parents are dead. What's your dinosaur's name? Yoshi.
So DK, as a kid, like he already showed a lot more promise than his grandfather, Cranky, who spent most of his time being locked up or harassing women.
Yeah, just being really, really like terminally divorced.
Just like that guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
He's like,
So the DK we know, he's much more of a hero. He spends his time saving DK Island from the Kremlins, learning the bongos, and in recognition of his heroic nature, since he's just risen above all the other Kongs, he was granted his necktie. So it's like a Medal of Honor in the Kong clan, I guess.
that's
DK
that's
crew.
like so. That's so something like HR would tell you. You know what I mean? Like you're at a presentation on like why they're introducing a dress code at the office, and it's like you should see your tie as a badge of honor.
Yep. So DK the Third also has set aside the beef with Mario. In most games, he engages in friendly competition or works alongside Mario. With a few exceptions, there's a bunch of like Game Boy games where he like kidnaps Pauline or Princess Peach again. I saw like a few clips of them, but like canon-wise, they mostly get along.
Okay.
Yeah.
He is a
Modern
gorilla. You have to forgive the occasional slip up.
Yeah, exactly. That woman's dress was just way too pretty. It was her fault, right?
Oh no!
Yeah. Oh my God. No, I don't believe that. This is Donkey Kong.
That's true. Yeah.
Not just quoting Donkey Kong. It's Nintendo seal of approval.
Yeah, Donkey Kong, Nintendo's known misogynist.
Yep.
Why can't girls just like a nice gorilla like me?
He's got the red tie.
Yeah. They always go for
You can do
asshole
anything.
plumbers.
You can do anything you want when you're a gorilla, you know? You can grab him by the pussy.
And grab him by the banana.
It's very true. And moving away from Donkey Kong and on to Diddy Kong. So Diddy Kong is, do you guys know the relationship to
Is
Donkey
he a
Kong?
cousin,
I
probably?
think cousin, yeah. That's my guess.
Not a cousin.
Nephew?
Close. He's a nephew, yeah.
Okay.
So DK, that means DK the Third has an unknown brother
Or sister.
or sister. And Diddy Kong has absent parents because we never meet either of them either.
Yeah.
Oh,
true.
okay.
Okay, so maybe this is like a bitter divorce situation, right? Because like if Donkey Kong Jr., DK's father, isn't in the picture, and DK's brother and or sister is not in the picture, maybe it was like, oh, she left and took the kids kind of situation. And then, you know, maybe she passed away, maybe something happened to his brother or sister, and now the niece and nephew have to come live with DK at times. You know, they're visiting the grandfather cranky.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unclear. Some people guess that Funky Kong is somehow related, but he's not, like, there's nothing in the games that tie him to Donkey Kong at all. He's more of just, like, part of the friend group.
I mean, Funky Kong is definitely the cousin that's addicted to heroin. You know what I mean? Like that's Funky Kong's role in all this.
We're going to get into him, and he is kind of a sketchy dude. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Diddy, you might know him as a marksman with his peanut launchers or an accomplished race car driver.
Mm-hmm.
But Diddy really still looked up to Donkey and wanted to be just like him. So in Donkey Kong Country 2, DK the Third gets kidnapped and Diddy saves him from King K. Rool. But Diddy didn't do it alone. He had the help of his girlfriend. And do you know the name of his girlfriend?
Dixie.
Yeah. Dixie Kong.
I guess we could say for the people who are completely unfamiliar with the Donkey Kong Country games that King K. Rool is the bad guy alligator.
Yeah.
He
has like he's an overweight alligator with a little tiny crown on the top of his head.
Yeah, exactly. He's got bug eyes.
Yep. And so Dixie Kong, remember the Kong isn't the last name. It's not like Diddy Kong married his sister or his cousin or something like that. It's just
It's like if your name was James Human.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait, is it not?
James Who Man.
James Human.
So Dixie's not directly related to Diddy or Donkey, but she does have her own family tree within the game. Her special thing is she has like a ponytail, and she can land on platforms a lot easier because she can kind of do this helicopter with her ponytail.
Yeah. She's got like a float.
like Tails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like Tails the fox from
Tails
the
the
Sonic
fox.
games.
Yeah.
I haven't really been describing what these characters look like because I assume in nerd culture you've met most of them. But the next one you might not have met. It's in Donkey Kong Country 3, and it's her baby cousin named Kitty Kong.
Mm-hmm.
And Kitty Kong looks like a little monkey baby. It's
a big monkey baby. He's like bigger than Dixie.
Yeah, he's 3 years old when he first appears in that game too, and he's still huge.
And he's still wearing a onesie too.
Oh yeah. I mean,
the parents aren't taking care of their monkey kids here because
clear signs of abuse. The onesie smells like piss. It's it's a bad situation. Addicted to
Kitty
bananas.
Kong too. Like he doesn't have parents around. Like they in Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie is like going through Funky Kong's place, is like airplane or whatever business he has at the time.
Yeah.
And Kitty Kong's just there, and Funky Kong's like, "You want to take this kid for me?" He's like, "Not mine."
I think
the Funky Kong level where you're platforming like collapsible platforms of like pizza boxes or like over pits of heroin needles that are like an instant kill.
So, like, Funky Kong's place is probably decent because he's definitely the dealer. Like, he's definitely the one making scratch and, like, selling all this. And his place is probably really clean because he probably has, like, parties where he gives out a bit of free meth and everybody just cleans his place for 12 hours, you know?
Oh, yeah, that's true, eh?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in Donkey Kong Country 3, his racket in the game, like, or his front in the game was selling boats. I think he sold boats in that one.
Yeah. He sells boat. We're going to get to it in a little bit, but that is one of his things.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of his many fronts.
Yeah. Dixie also, so that was her little cousin, was Kitty Kong. And she also has a little sister, who is Tiny Kong, who is in the DK64.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the crossbow one.
Yeah, with the pigtails instead of a ponytail.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's able to make, like, she's like Ant-Man. She can make herself really tiny.
Oh, okay.
Hence the name. Not an ironic name.
No, not like the Crash Bandicoot tiny. This one is on the net. I think there's even a boss fight where she like shrinks down and goes into a hole in the shoe and like fights the toes of a gremlin. Yeah,
that's very good.
Okay, weird.
It's the 90s N64 games, man. I think Clay Fighter's 63 and a third. You fight on the rim of a toilet.
Is that why there's the foot fetish is so big these days? Is because all those awakenings playing Donkey Kong Country 64?
I'd blame the game. Yeah, I would do that. Yeah,
could be. If they remade it today, they would take away the toes out of the game, just like they took our Lola Bunny titties.
Goddamn liberals.
I cannot believe how much of an uproar there is about that. It's so dumb.
The future liberals watch as all gorillas wearing shoes. Yeah. Oh, no. No more open-toed shoes on Candy Kong.
Another thing about Tiny Kong is it's actually written in her notes in the player manual that she's ultra intelligent and she manages all of the finances on the whole DK Island.
And Cranky Kong has got to be fucking senile. He's got a child managing his finances. Meanwhile, he's got some guy selling boats out of his yard.
Yeah, that must be extra hard because everybody kind of just starts up a business. Like back whenever Wrinkly Kong was around, she had her school. Cranky Kong makes something too. Like he has a store at one point.
It just is a trailer park, right? Like that's what Kong Island is.
Sounds like to me,
more or less.
Fucking Julian. Julian is fucking Kremlins.
You've got Randy Kong and Leahy Kong, and then when he gets drunk, he turns into the Liquor Kong. Randy.
Yeah, exactly.
Next up is Chunky Kong, and he first appears in DK64 as well. And he's actually the older brother of Kitty Kong, so maybe he helped Kitty grow up since he's 3 years old and still alive.
He looks like the Pokemon Machoke. Because he's not really chunky, he's pretty jacked. I would expect a Chunky Kong to be kind of, overweight.
Yeah, he's the guy who could pick up a boulder with relative ease.
Yeah, he looks like he was... Oh. He looks like he got the name Chunky Kong in high school, and that kind of defined who he became as an adult. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
Obviously, drug of choice would be steroids for him, I think. Fair to say.
Yeah. He loves to wrestle, so maybe some cocaine too. And in the game manual, it mentions that his personal hero is Kong Hogan, which didn't age well because Hulk Hogan is kind of a racist bastard.
Oh, is it? I didn't even know that about Hulk Hogan.
I didn't know that about him either.
I am completely unsurprised. Words cannot express how unsurprised I am by that revelation.
The last thought I had about Hulk Hogan was he wore like his formal do-rag to that lawsuit that took down Gawker, where he was like in court wearing like, a black suit with a white shirt underneath and whatever color tie, and then his do-rag matched his suit.
I love the picture where he has his handlebar mustache, and then they fit his face right underneath, so it's like the line of his head goes with the handlebar mustache. Yeah, it's Hulk Hogan's all the way down on the chin.
Recursive, yeah.
Yeah. So that's Chunky Kong. And next up is Lanky Kong. He has no style, he has no grace, and even has a funny face.
He's pretty gross. Yeah, I don't like the way that one looks. But he's clearly an orangutan compared to the gorillas that we've been dealing with up until now.
I mean, I was going to say, I think he's clearly wearing a sweater. Like, looking at the picture that Jamie shared with us, it looks like he's wearing an orange sweater over his arms. You know what I mean?
But he's got like orange shins and an orange head too.
Yeah. Could be. I'm just saying it could be faked.
I mean, the Funky Kong below him looks like he's wearing a brown sweater. I think that's just the way they are. No,
fair. Him, it stood out more to me, and maybe it's just the orange to white instead of the brown to white.
Right.
Yeah,
stood out more.
I have a theory about this guy because he's not listed anywhere on the family tree. But in one of these Nintendo Powers or game manuals or somewhere, there was a quote that said, he's a twisted twig on a distant branch of the family tree.
Oh, okay.
So there's no clear relation, but I think that the Kongs that are the enemies in the game, the Lanky Kongs, he kind of bears some resemblance to them. So I think he might be part of that other tribe of Kongs, the Lanky Kongs. Okay. But he kind of grew up friendly, and he came and joined our side.
It's a Capulet and like Montague situation where it's like two rival families and Romeo and Juliet got together, and before they killed themselves, they had Lanky Kong.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah. Did Shakespeare work on this game?
Yeah, the Immortal Bard.
Yeah. The German manual actually says that Lanky is Chunky's uncle, which I love the phrase Chunky's uncle.
Chunky uncle.
It sounds like an ice cream.
Chunky uncle. It sounds like the kind of ice cream that your uncle would get for you and tells you to try without giving any kind of reasoning.
Yeah. He's like, I don't have a coffee table, just use this stack of newspapers from the 80s.
So yeah, Lanky's whole thing is he has like really long arms. He can kind of like spin in a circle and do a big AoE attack. He can reach things that are out of reach from other things. And he's kind of stretchy looking. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the German manual says that it's Lanky is Chunky's uncle once removed, but it's inconsistent with the other manuals, so we're not sure.
Because he looks childlike. If I don't think I don't think he looks like an adult at all. He looks younger than or at least younger than Diddy and Dixie at the very least.
Do you find? I don't find.
I do. Yeah.
I think Diddy and Dixie look younger. I think he doesn't look old, but.
Yeah, I see him as again, a person who's trying to be something that they're not, and he's like trying to act more youthful and silly, in a way. He's trying to connect with the kids. Maybe he had some traumatic event in his childhood that has emotionally stunted him, and he will forever be a child in some way. I have a hard time believing that that's his real nose. It looks like a clown nose that he's put on his face to seem more clownish. To me.
Yeah. So I'm like control F'ing his thing, and age isn't coming up. Whenever I put age, I'm just getting a bunch of cages. When I'm putting old, I'm just getting a bunch of golden bananas. So I don't think we know his age.
Yeah. All right. Note to self for the listeners: you cannot find the words age or old on the DK wiki because it's all just golden bananas and cages.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe he's ageless. Maybe he is the Immortal Bard. Maybe he's Shakespeare, the one writing this story about the Capulets and the Montagues.
Oh, yes. And he plays the fool so as not to be caught. He's just like, oh, look at that. Thank you, one.
Yeah, William Kong.
One of the theories I saw was that he was from another like monkey civilization, but they were all about like being really serious and like doing their book work and no playing around. But then you just got this goofy motherfucker, so he got kicked out.
Okay, so like all the art teachers in that other country were like really strict about deadlines and memorizing the theme to King Kong, the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So some other non-family Kongs. We got Funky Kong, the one we were talking about.
Mm-hmm. Clearly a drug dealer.
Okay, but I didn't look at these right away. He is like third or second sketchiest motherfucker that I've seen right now. Like Funky Kong, probably okay to hang out with like a couple times a year. He's probably got good blow, at least sometimes, right? And like on the off chance that he's had his meth heads in to clean his apartment, it's not a bad spot.
Yeah.
For the listeners at home, he's wearing cut-off jeans, a tank top, a plain white Fruit of the Loom tank top from the look of it, wraparound shades, a bandana, and a a smile that can only be described as trying to sell me something, I think.
Yeah.
And like, it's a boat.
And he's always trying to sell you something, and it's always something different based on whatever game you're like.
Yeah.
He's the guy who like sends you an email thread to set up for like a big business. He just needs a little bit of an investment first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's always mixed up with MLMs, essentially.
Yeah. I was thinking he's more of like every game, a different truck has like, just ran itself off the road in front of my apartment, and now I have all these VCRs.
Yeah. Oh,
I know it's 2008, but like whatever, man. Like come and get a couple of them. $50 a pop.
Geez, DK, still eating bananas? All I drink is herba juice. It's all the nutrients I need to start my day.
I only go to the bathroom once a day. It's fairly dramatic and uncomfortable, but it's totally worth it. Look how good I look.
Yeah. So he sells airplane rides, boat rides, fast transit. He'll sell consumables in later games. And actually, right after the time where Wrinkly Kong passed away, he kind of went off the rails, and he was a heavy arms dealer in the 64 version of the game.
Oh, good.
I see.
Yeah, he lost the glasses, but he gained a bunch of like weapons to traffic, I guess.
I don't know if I'd call...
Interesting.
So again, you mentioned it earlier, but Diddy Kong has peanut guns in that, for example. I don't know if I'd call those heavy arms unless you're going into like a third grade class where there's a kid who's known to have peanut allergies. You know?
Oh yeah.
there was more. I should Google that. I didn't check the weapons, but I'm pretty sure there's like a bazooka is one of them.
That's
where it shoots coconuts though.
No, yeah, DK's is the coconut gun. I think Chunky is a watermelon bazooka, maybe. Lanky Kong is it's like a long pea shooter, and it shoots grapes.
Right.
And Dixie, I don't remember Dixie's.
Oh, cool.
Or Tiny's, excuse me.
Dude, that game is crazy. Like, to play it, you had to have an extra expansion pack on top of the cartridge that you would put into the front of your N64, and it'd give you 4 megabytes of extra RAM.
4 extra, yeah. You just download extra RAM to your N64. 4 whole megabytes.
Imagine selling a whole extra thing that you have to plug into a system that gives you just 4 megabytes of RAM.
It was a lot at the time. I think it doubled the N64's RAM output.
That's insane.
Oh no, it probably had 64 megs, right?
That's
no,
probably
it's called the N64 because of the 64 bits, which I believe is 64 different colors that it can process. I think the like 32-bit, 64-bit, 16-bit is a color thing, not a RAM thing.
Like the original Nintendo was 8-bit, the Super Nintendo was 16-bit, and then they jumped up to the 64-bit.
Yeah, 4 megabytes.
You had the 32X, which was a 32-bit system, but that was like a Sega Genesis, like space arm that you had to install on the top of the fucking thing.
So it had 4 megabytes of RAM. The N64 had 4 megabytes of RAM. The expansion pack actually had 8 megabytes of RAM. So you tripled your RAM with that thing.
Oh, wow. There's only 4 games that it was ever needed for. It was Donkey Kong 64, Majora's Mask, Perfect Dark, but only for the single player content. Oh. And then there was one more, Dinosaur Island or something like that.
Sure. Never heard of that.
Dinosaur Island, wasn't that the working title of like Star Fox Adventure, and that just never came out?
I'm not sure.
No, you said Dinosaur Planet. I pulled up the clicker.
Yeah.
Dinosaur Planet.
There's also, it's funny that you mentioned the 32-bit Sega Genesis, because Sonic, Donkey Kong Country was actually a direct response to Sonic.
Oh, yeah?
Really?
Yeah, because it was just the graphics were so insane on the Genesis compared to the Super Nintendo. So Rare did this whole thing where there was 2 guys back in Rare, I forget their names, but they basically did all the...
Stanley and Philip.
Yeah.
It's not far, because they are like British brothers. So Stanley and Philip are like the most like picket fence little British townhouse names that I can think of.
Stanley the Bugman and Philip the graphics guy.
It basically made the whole game like with computer 3D image that would like run above what their system could run on, just to make all the models first, and then they condensed it down into just being able to run on their system. So that way it didn't have to like compute this 32-bit whatever, but it could just display it as a 16-bit and look extra better.
They built it backwards.
Yeah.
And they started by actually looking at monkeys to get the movements right, but the game was so fast-paced that it didn't work well. So the character models were based off of horses rather than monkeys.
Oh,
oh, okay.
That's fun.
This is stuff in a video I watched 3 days ago that I didn't even write down, but it's just all coming out now.
Yeah.
You mentioned Sonic.
I completely forgot about it, but now I remember it, except for their names.
Yeah. I forget the two guys. It's like the two founders of Rare. It's way back when. You guys can easily find it if you Google it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, Funky Kong, he's always selling stuff. He ends up selling arms. But it was just a phase. He stopped selling guns, and he ends up hanging out with the crew in a pretty normal way in the later games, such as Tropical Freeze, but he still is always slanging his wares.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's Tim and Chris Stamper.
Okay. And they're brothers, yeah.
The Stamper brothers, yeah. In Twycross, oh my god, Leicestershire in England.
Leicestershire?
Jesus.
Dude. Okay, well, Candy Kong is up next, and this is the hottie. This is DK the Third, our DK that we know's girlfriend.
Okay.
She's like a tall, long-legged supermodel monkey.
Stacked like Lola Bunny.
Like she used to be. Well,
like you should be.
Yeah.
Stacked like the real Lola Bunny. Not this.
Not my Lola.
Not my Lola.
Dude. My Lola Bunny should have tits, and my potato head should be a mister.
Yeah.
All right?
Give back Mr. Potato Head's dick, damn it.
So that I can swap it out for his shoes and put the shoes on the front like God intended.
The liberals cut my potato's dick off.
Like people run swiftly running out of fucking hills to die on.
No, I think they're proving that
plastic shell.
Yeah, I think they're proving that they will never run out of hills to die on because they're just making fucking hills to die on at this point.
Yeah, the moles at this point are all just like, these people are fucking crazy.
So Candy Kong, guys, I figured out something really cool. This is not something I saw anywhere, but I just figured out for myself.
Her tits are real?
So DK Senior,
mm-hmm.
he stands directly next to Paulina, and if Paulina was an average height woman, then DK Senior would be 7'4".
Okay.
What's average height for a woman at this time? Like 5'5"?
Sure, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, it feels irrelevant, but
yeah,
but good question.
I don't know.
So I saw this somewhere that the comparison between her and him at 7'4", but I extended this one further. So DK the Third that we know, he'd probably be about the same size as Cranky Kong in his prime. Cranky Kong's actually shorter than DK the Third. But let's assume...
Well, now he's an old man. He's been shrinking.
Exactly.
He's got dementia. Not just his brain is shrinking, but also his body.
So let's assume DK is 7'4". And from some games, Candy standing next to DK looks double his height. So Candy, Loreboy's canon, is a 14-foot tall mommy model.
Okay, see, I wasn't attracted to Candy Kong before you told me that. Now that I know that she's an Amazon... I'm much more into it. Now I get it.
It would be hard to imagine looking up at a 14-foot anything, you know? Like,
no. It's approaching 3 times my height.
Yeah.
It's like a telephone pole, honestly. With big monkey tits on it, you know? It's a very strange thing to think about.
Again, when you describe it like that, Peter, I'm very on board. A telephone pole with monkey tits.
I wonder if Funky Kong sold her those bazookas too.
Hey! Oh my God! What he's like a Thailand plastic surgeon as well.
Yeah.
One of them deflates when she like breaks too hard in the car and hits the steering wheel.
Yeah, just
don't worry. These are my surgical jean shorts.
There's your episode title right there.
He's sterilizing his like forceps with like Colt 45.
Yeah. Another one of the last Kongs that was listed in the family tree or in the crew is Swanky Kong.
This shifty motherfucker. Yeah, this is this guy I don't trust.
No.
Yeah.
This is the guy who's doing meth and cleaning someone's apartment.
So he's got like unkempt hair that's just like a little longer than you're comfortable with. He's got like this sports jacket that's ill-fitting. He's got the big multiple rings on one hand. And he runs game shows. He runs carnivals. He's just like the really sketchy monkey.
He's a carny too. He is king of like the Kong trailer park that we've established.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like he's the guy that you need to just like, you want to put up a satellite on your trailer so you can get cheaper porn or whatever. You got to go through whatever you call them, Shifty Kong,
Swanky Kong,
Swanky Kong. That's it.
So that's the end of our little sort of family tree. Can you guys like say from the beginning to like what you remember of who's related to who?
Cranky, DK Jr., DK.
Yeah.
DK's brother and or sister had a child named Diddy.
That's right.
Who may or may not have knocked up a girl named Dixie.
Right.
Who
Diddy didn't knock up Dixie, did he? That was a weird sentence. I'm sorry.
I wrote a did he joke in and I took it out because I made myself groan.
That was an accident. I'm sorry.
They had a baby called Baby Kong.
It wasn't their baby. It was just younger. It was like a younger cousin of Dixie.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that Diddy knocked up Dixie. She had a baby, but the grandparents were like, no, you can't tell people that's yours because you're too young and it's going to look bad for the family. So you have to tell people that it's your younger cousin. Definitely her kid, in my opinion. That's why he's there with them running around in DKC3.
Okay.
Tiny is her younger sister who didn't throw her life away and is actually quite smart and is, trying to get the family back on track, even though when all she should be focusing on is getting the fuck out of this trailer park. She has this like kind of guilt remorse where she feels like she needs to help the family, so she's taking care of their finances, even though a lot of it's really shifty. She's being forced to cook the books for them. Chunky Kong was related somehow, I'm sure.
It was
her younger brother.
The older brother of
Dixie and Tiny.
No, of just Tiny.
Oh, I thought
Dixie would be the parents by your logic of Chunky too.
Oh, I see. Okay,
okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. That's a big monkey to come out of a little monkey.
What?
They come out
People
as little
grow.
babies.
Yeah.
They grow up, right? I'm taller than my mother, James.
Fair point.
I don't know.
That's a fair point. Lanky.
I've never seen a vagina. I can't imagine what happens.
Yeah. Jamie, let me tell you from experience, they're incredibly large. Big enough for you, big enough for me, big enough for you and me, I dare say. I've seen many, let me tell you. Lanky is, out of town dope fiend who the family kind of just like lets hang around because he's good for business. They keep.
Well, he's Uncle Lanky, but like that unrelated uncle.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It is him and DK used to party like real wild. Then he got into some like really hard shit, and DK kind of cleaned up his act. He was given a tie, and he was like, okay, I got to stop doing smack because I have a tie now.
Lanky was given overalls, and that just set the course for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Lanky asked him to use the tie to tie off his arm, and he's like, "That's it, I'm out of here."
That's it. Yeah. Maybe DK keeps the tie as a reminder of how dark his life it was at one point.
Could have been.
Yeah. Swanky and Funky Kong, I'm going to assume, are closely related through business. They're probably like their own little family tree where it's like an uncle and a nephew who sell car stereos, repurposed or salvaged car stereos together. Right. Candy Kong probably worked at the carnival for a while.
She's the one who spun the Ferris wheel with her own hand because she's 14.
Yeah, like a contestant on The Price is Right, she just ripped that bad boy.
So that's them. You did quite well. And I have a few honorable mentions that didn't quite make the crew, but they exist.
Okay, they auditioned, but they didn't care about family enough, that these Kongs are not going to be in Fast and the Furious 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the game Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, one of my favorite Game Boy Advance games, on the ship SS Chacola, there is an undead / reanimated skeleton primate resembling Donkey Kong by the name of Bink.
Okay. That's not the name I was expecting. I was thinking like Rattly Kong or Bonesy Kong or something.
That whole game has a lot of like funny names. Like I still use these names like Bink and stuff like that. The little the guy on
we're gonna have a listener named Bink who's like, oh, what the fuck, guys?
I love that name. It calls everybody Fink Rats. One of the villains calls everybody Fink Rats.
Like the main villain, yeah.
Yeah. Get out of here, Fink Rat.
Yeah, the little wizard guy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Another guy who was actually in the show, but not in the games, Eddie the Mean Old Yeti. I just liked his name.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
Pretty good. Yeah. I guess Yetis would be primates, so they're definitely like a member of the family.
Yeah. He's like low intelligence, but really high strength and easily irritated.
Okay.
Yeah. And he lives in Congo Bongo Island, and he looks like a white gorilla, and he wears a snow beanie hat.
Okay.
Like a toque, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Toque.
Yeah.
Also in the show was Kung Fu, and it was just a monkey who's really good at Kung Fu.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kung Fu
Yeah,
Kong.
King K. Rool hires him there's a fighting competition, and he hires him to go up against DK.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, he's like he's like an unconnected mercenary.
Yeah,
Kong.
he's mercenary, yeah.
Yeah, who does kung fu for the highest bidder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last one that was supposed to be in a Game Boy Advance game, but that got canceled, called Diddy Kong Pilot, is Redneck Kong. And
He would have fit right in, though, honestly.
Yeah.
A lot of these people seem like Redneck Kong to me.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that guy, actually, Funky Kong looks like Horton the hot dog. What's it, shooter? Harley shoots a good hot dog.
Oh, that guy who like sucks up.
I know who you're talking about,
back
but
up into the air.
I have no idea what his name is.
It says at the end, but look up hot dog shooter, guys at home. Like, if you want to see some guy just like suck 6 hot dogs down his throat and then cough up 5.
Yeah, it's brilliant, actually.
It's a time capsule to what raised us, I think. The internet that once was.
Yeah.
Redneck Kong. Good God.
Yeah. So, according to Rare, the developer of the game said that Redneck Kong has been officially killed off and will not be making any more appearances, even though he never made one appearance.
He tried to like heat his pool with propane in a garden hose, and that's how he died.
He's a tall primate with buck teeth, a single bushy eyebrow, and he wears a straw hat and patched overalls.
Okay.
But he was replaced by Candy Kong in later builds of the game.
There you go. She's redneck enough as it is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was the Donkey Kong family tree, and the banana does not fall far from the tree. So if you guys like that episode, let us know.
Yeah, the Donkey Kong Cinematic Universe. The DCU. This episode has been sponsored, has been brought to you guys by Pete's Publishers. Pete, you wanna talk about your special project?
That's not true. The Squared idea did not pay for that, but did not pay for the Donkey Kong episode. But yes, so I think I've alluded to it in the past and have mentioned that I had been writing something for a while and like left my job downtown to finish it, and then did. And then in November 2020, I wrote a pitch and got published here in Montreal. So I am currently working with the publisher Squared Idea. If you want to check out any of their completed works, mine's, of course, in pre-production right now, like it's not finished. But I've got a short story about dinosaurs coming out soon.
Sounds like it's not started.
It is.
Pre-production.
I mean, it's written and the storyboards are with an editor right now. Like, I haven't seen them in weeks, but I've got a short story about dinosaurs coming out soon as well. So yeah, there we go. And now I'm rejoining the workforce because thankfully Squared lets you keep your rights, but they function as an agent, so I make money off the sales. They did not buy my idea, which frankly I think is better. So of course I'm rejoining the workforce next week. But yeah, check out Squared Idea. It's Indie Comic Studio on Instagram, and it's at Squared_idea. They have a bunch of stuff that's out, a bunch of different artists that work for them. There's this one girl that just does like kind of like newspaper comics, which make me feel very nostalgic, just like single panel jokes that I like a lot. And then a bunch of other wildly talented people that I feel I have no right to be around. But it's neat that, I don't know, took that risk and it paid off.
To be fair, yeah. Pete, you're not even talented enough for this show, so I don't know what you're doing over there.
So keep an ear to the ground to that. I'm sure Pete will update everyone.
Yeah. I'll keep everybody in the loop. In the loop on that one. Check out what they have thus far. They're really, really cool guys. They've been really, really easy to work with. I'm obviously completely new to this, and they've sent me everything I could have possibly needed thus far. So yeah, it's been great.
Cool. Check them out if you like that kind of nerd shit. Which, if you've listened this long, we know you do. So no excuse.
I can't read, so I'm unfamiliar with their work. But I don't know. They seem to like me.
The show has also been brought to you by Jamie's Steam account. Jamie, you got anything you want to plug?
JAYMILK. Come play games with me.
The show is also brought to you guys by our loving patrons, patreon.com/theloreboys. It's brought to you by everybody who's left us a review. If you want to leave us a review and have us read it on air, we'll do that. We have a message from one of our patrons. Yeah. If I could find it.
You guys are, by the way, patrons, you are directly supporting the show. Like, your payments go right back into the show, and it's been so helpful to have. Ethan's buying a house, so it's a good thing you guys are around.
Yeah, I'm buying a house for the podcast.
Yeah. We're all moving in together, kicking out Ariane. Sorry, baby.
I've made enough money off this show to buy a house, everybody. Just one shot purchase, never going to have to pay anything again for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have a message from one of our patrons. If you guys want to get a message on the show and you are already one of our patrons or you're considering becoming one of our patrons, just write us a message, send it to us, say you want us to read it on the show, and we'll do it. Dance, monkey dance. We are no better than the Kongs of yore. Xavi says, hello, I want to start by saying thank you for your amazing podcast. It's definitely helped out a lot the last few weeks. Even though I've gained quite a bit of knowledge on multiple games that I play, this podcast has helped me stay distracted in these very stressful times. Your podcast is an amazing mixture of funny, fact, and innuendos that is perfect to the core. Please keep doing this for however long you plan on doing it, which, great question. I may be new to your podcast and server, but you have a fan that will listen to you forever, for even in death, I still serve. From your new listener, Xavi, thanks so much. We promise to not make you work too hard after death. We'll shuffle you to like the more menial tasks kind of thing. But
it's like Wrinkly Kong just comes back for tips in the N64 version.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's been great having you on the server. It's been great chatting with you. All the opportunities we have. Anybody who wants to join the Discord, you can find it at loreboys.com/about. All our info is there. As I said before, patreon.com/theloreboys. If you want to help me buy a house, even though I'm already done buying a house, I've done the whole thing. No more money to pay. It's for sure not going to be paying for it for the next 30 years.
Your money goes to the show, not his house. I want to be clear on that.
Yeah, you wanted to help me buy a house.
Yeah. And anybody who doesn't trust Patreon, doesn't believe that we won't spend Patreon money on personal houses and things like that.
Houses and cars and all that shit that we didn't just buy.
I've been buying up all the OG Mr. Potato Heads with their penises still intact for posterity, damn it. For anybody who doesn't trust that we won't spend our money on Mr. Potato Head penises, we do have Lore Boys Prime, which of course is a trust partially sponsored by the Canadian government, so we can't play with those funds outside of the promises made, essentially. Right. So we are offering some pretty special services. We're opening up a carnival, and we need some people to man the rides. We're looking for, if you're a 14-foot tall woman, call me. And we'll get you working the Ferris wheel. You're gonna be spinning that sucker like a top. Okay. We have plenty of other rides. We got ring toss. We need somebody who's good at lubing up the tops of Coke bottles to make sure that the rings won't stick to them. Yeah. What rides are you guys running again?
Well, I'm in charge of hiring for the BB gun thing. I need you guys to weigh down all the Pepsi cans so that they could literally they could not be knocked over by a hurricane. So certainly not a BB gun. So if you guys if you want to rig the BB gun like can pyramid thing, that's what I'm hiring for. So just show me your can packing skills, like a 30-second video or less.
Show me your can packing skills is quite the pickup line, Pete, let me say. Okay.
Yeah. We were running low on space for our traveling carnival, so I actually had to combine two things. So I have the bumper food stand. I can get you a big thing of popcorn, maybe a plate of spaghetti, and you'll just get smashed right into the other customers.
Exactly. And we need somebody, we are going to need people to volunteer to help clean up the horrible messes that this caused, and also dispose of the bodies of the people who have died from choking on their popcorn after being immediately slammed in the back while trying to eat popcorn.
And at least like somebody to triage the kids who inevitably get poked in the eye with a corn dog, right?
Exactly. Yeah,
that's not even safe to drive with, like, outside of a crooked Lore Boys carnival. Right?
Corn dogs are the most lethal form of hot dog. I think we can all agree.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you think put the bump stick on them, it's just you can get.
If you think getting hit by an apple hurts, imagine a candied apple.
Yeah.
That thing's got shrapnel now.
Exactly. Just
Yeah.
I think so. If you want to volunteer for the show, just head online, leave us a review, and we'll read it, and then we will bring you onto the carnival team. You can be
like
a lore carny.
You got the Serbians like toss candied apples into the back of the car with Franz Ferdinand. It's just like careful, your highness.
And I think that would constitute a lore boys.
Lore boys.
Lore boys.
Out.
Out.